Hello and welcome. Here we are in Candy Pallekele and it's bright and sunny outside. So I have a very special guest from Sri Lanka, so we can have better idea of the conditions. And also we'll talk about Pakistan game and also about the Sri Lankan game. So we have Andrew Fidel Fernando with me from ESPNcricinfo. How are you, Fernando?
I'm very good, thank you. Thanks, Abu
So
Bakr.
it's second time we have you in ICC tournament. So first of all, I'll talk about Pakistan game. Do you think these conditions might help Pakistan as compared to England? Although England spinners performed really well and Will Jack purchased a lot from the pitch.
Yeah, I think yesterday's pitch was a little bit slow. I think both teams will say that they underperformed. I think even Harry Brook said that it was probably 160, 165 pitch, and then Sri Lanka collapsed against them. So I don't think the next pitch will be so spin friendly. I think it looks like it's a fresh pitch that hasn't been played on yet. Generally in this ground you get higher scores than in Colombo. You get flatter surfaces. That I think might suit England maybe more than Pakistan. Given the way that their batting is set up, I think they're much more high-scoring top order. They have a much higher ceiling. Pakistan need to find ways with the ball to stop them from getting to those high scores, especially if they bat first.
Exactly, Pakistan spinners will have to do a lot on this in these conditions. Farhan also told us that Babar told him that ball really comes nicely on the bat in this venue. So overall, if we are mentioning Babar, let's talk about him. There is a big question in Pakistan that should Babar play T20s, and then another question: should Babar play at number 4 or opening? Mike Hassan has cleared that he is not good enough to play at opening. His power play strike is not that good. Do you think that Babar should? Like as Shoaib Akhtar said, Babar should retire from this format. Do you think so?
I don't know about retiring. I think it's up to the selectors to make the call on Babar, and I think that we've seen how he plays for a long time now. Yeah. It's not like a secret that Babar takes time to get going. Mike Hassan referenced that as well. That obviously puts a little bit of pressure on most of your teammates when you're batting on most surfaces. It can be really helpful when you're in a low scoring match to have a batter of Babar's experience and his kind of technique. But in most T20s, Babar is not going to play match-winning innings, and I think it's been a long time that Pakistan have persisted with him. We know what he's capable of. We know that he hasn't taken that next level up. That he doesn't have the highest gears that you need to operate at if you want to be a match-winning T20 batter. And so I think it's hopefully, I know that the PSL is coming up. Hopefully next time we meet at a world tournament, we're not still talking about Babar. Hopefully the PSL has produced some batters to come and replace him, because I think we know what Babar has to offer now. We've seen that he's evolved so far, but he hasn't evolved beyond a certain point. So I think there needs to be a little bit more. At the very least, there needs to be more competition for his place in the team, I would say.
With England beating Sri Lanka yesterday in the one-sided affair, so what do you think within this group? What's going to happen? Like already Pakistan and New Zealand had 1 point each due to washout game. First of all, tell me about Sri Lanka. What happened to them? Like I was expecting them to beat England because England was really struggling against Nepal and Italy. So do you think like Sri Lanka's another mode has turned on home ground?
Yeah, it's been quite a little bit of a roller coaster campaign for Sri Lanka, but Sri Lanka haven't been a good T20 team for a while. At least Pakistan have had the experience of beating Australia 3-0 at home before they came here, for example. Sri Lanka lost 3-0 to England here around the same time. Those series happened around the same time. So Sri Lanka haven't been a good T20 team for a long time. Sometimes they've got explosive batters like Pathum Nissanka is obviously a very, very, very good batter, their best batter. And they're a little bit over-reliant on him. When he doesn't score runs, the team looks, that top order looks much more brittle. They have, I think, maybe in this group, the only team that has a weaker or a more brittle top order than Pakistan is Sri Lanka, because we've seen that they've been struggling. We've got batters who are quite inexperienced, people like Pawan Ratnayaka, who did really well in some brief series, but they haven't had the kind of battle testing and the long-term kind of grooming at the top level that maybe you need to have to put on a successful World Cup campaign. So I'm not surprised at the way that Sri Lanka collapsed yesterday. They have been known to collapse. Zimbabwe, they lost twice to Zimbabwe the previous year in 2025. So when they lost again in Colombo, that wasn't a massive surprise either. So the expectations of the Sri Lanka team are quite low. People were trying to get into the World Cup spirit, and hopefully in the next couple of matches they'll be able to put on a bit more of a fight, and kind of to at least to thank the crowds that keep showing up for them.
I think so. We both can feel the pain for each other. Yeah, with the Pakistan's performing, also Pakistan struggling against the big teams. So with South Africa beating unbeaten India, India is unbeaten since 2024. So do you think that now World Cup has entered in very interesting situation where both groups have become kind of like all of the teams have if and buts conditions. So do you think in the other group that is being called the group of death, so West Indies, West Indies, Zimbabwe can also give tough time to the South Africa and Indian team?
Yeah, absolutely. And the scale of that victory, the South Africa didn't just win, they won by quite a huge distance. So that's going to put India back in terms of net run rate. The next two matches become must wins for them.
Yeah.
And they're not just must wins, there can be situations where three teams are tied on 2 wins each.
Exactly.
And then it comes down to net run rate. So that, the size of that victory puts a lot of pressure on that India team as well, who I think still are the favourites. But they, it's T20s, and these things can happen where you can have a bad power play, you can have a bad spell sometime during the game, and that ends up defining your entire match. So that's kind of what's great about this format as well. But yeah, it really does. Both hosts losing on a Sunday really sets the groups up. Hopefully that group becomes. We have a few more upsets in that group. I would love to see. So far we've only really had Zimbabwe upsetting Australia as the major upset of the tournament. If we can see a couple more through the Super 8s, that'll make this a really interesting tournament.
Well, lastly, in tomorrow's game, England versus Pakistan. So do you think with the unorthodox action of Usman Tariq, although England have a lot of right-handers in their lineup, but still Usman Tariq can trouble England batters?
I think so. He's bowling very well, and he seems to know what his game is and what it isn't. He seems to have very clear game plans and he just seems to be a very thinking cricketer. Every time I watch him, I like him a little bit more. Hopefully he's one of the trump cards that Pakistan has, because I think when you look through that 11, England have a lot more kind of firepower on paper, so they need something special, something from either Shaheen. We saw that the seamers were seaming it around early in the match yesterday. So maybe if someone can find a little bit of seam movement, and Usman Tariq kind of controlling the middle and death overs, is something that would need to happen, I would suspect, if Pakistan are going to topple England in this match.
Thank you so much for talking to us, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this discussion. Let us know your feedback in the comment section below.